How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Mullen Automotive. So much has happened in this past week. You could probably hear from my voice. I haven't been feeling well as of late, but I had to make sure I came back to get you guys prepared for the coming week. We have Hindenburg coming out with short reports, and I'm like, you know what? Let's get this clear. Let's see what this stock can do. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for MULN. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $2.51, being up 5.46%. On the low, it tested $2.15, and then on the high, testing $2.77. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 142.871 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 142.216 million shares. So right around the average when it comes to volume, just a little bit higher. Part of the reasons why we've seen some strength in the stock. When we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 51.80. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, but we are above the 50-day and as well as the 21-day EMA, which is at $2.46, and we close at $2.51. So since we did deal with that recent report from Hindenburg, Mullen has been doing a great job holding itself up. Now, as far as for this coming week, if we see weakness inside of these markets, I can see a potential pullback going to the 50-day right here around $1.95. I know many might be disagreeing with me on this, but hey, Dre, don't we have support right here at 215, which we tested the low for Friday? Yes, this is true, but I could see this level breaking if we see weakness in the market. So I want to make sure that is something that you're aware of. I'm not being bearish whatsoever, but it could give you an opportunity if you want to get in at a lower cost. And another thing we have to point out, which I've pointed out in previous videos, we have a gap that needs to be filled to the downside right here around $1.79. So if we did break through $2, then there's a good chance we could test this level. And if we fill in that gap, I think it would be great for Mullen and more traders would want to get into this play and swing it back to the upside. We know there's going to be even more catalysts that are going to be coming. But one thing that will be very clear though, if we go into next week and we end up having a bullish move, I'd want to see some price action above $3. $3 is a psychological area. But in order for us to get there, of course, we need to pass the high of the day at 277. So what this means, getting to 277, we need buyers who are going to step in to push this price at 3. Because I feel if the markets are choppy and if they are weak, there could be a lot of profit taking right at $3. But if buyers step in, that's why I'm saying there's a good chance we can make a move and go all the way here to around 350. Going to $4, again, markets would have to be very strong, some sort of a catalyst and so on. So let's see how it performs for this coming week. Take a look at the short interest information for Mullen. So the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 48.37%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 39.94 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 350,000, updated 4 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 215.91%. When we take a look at the history of the short short volume, we can see for the close on the 7th, it was at 49.03. And then for the close of the 8th, being at 48.37. So this is fairly high for the short volume ratio. And with the short borrow fee rate being as high it is, Mullen does have some short squeeze potential here. And the short interest percentage of the float is at 4.99%. So this is not too high. But if shorts are forced to recover, especially with that short borrow fee, then things can get very interesting for this play. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Mullen Automotive. So we see on the inflow, it was at 76.29 million, and then on the outflow, it's at 63.03 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0.85 million. On the medium, it was 57.68 million, and then on the small, it was 17.76 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.98 million. On the medium, it was 47.85 million. And then on the small, it was 14.20 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 8th, so the Friday that just passed, it was at 0.13 million, and it was an outflow day. But if we take a look at April the 7th, it was a big time inflow day of 1.09 million. So what this shows us right away, many people loaded up on this stock when that short report came out. Yes, there was a reaction in regards to selling, but you know, the investors, the people with confidence came and bought that dip. And now when we take a look at the small scale orders that tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 59.69%. So this is actually not too bad for a stock like Mullen. We know it is extremely volatile. Plus on top of that, they were able to post up a green day on the Friday when we saw weakness inside of the tech sector. So what does this show us? There's demand for this stock. So let's get into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Mullen Automotive, the short report that came out from Hindenburg, I think that just added more fuel to the fire. The stock ended up having a quick pullback, of course, but there were so many dip buyers waiting. And the fact that it was able to shoot up fairly quickly shows that there's a lot of demand in the market for the stock, and it's something that cannot be ignored. When that short report did come out, though, I thought we were going to fill that gap to the downside, which is around $1.79. I would have scooped up a ton of shares if that actually happened, but it didn't. So this is why things can get very interesting for this play. Also, posting up a green day on the Friday, knowing that the market was weak, I want to see a continuation of this for the coming week. We already know as far as for the CEO, he has been making a lot of promises, and there's catalysts that we need to look forward to as far as for this month, especially when he was talking about a top Fortune 500 company that's going to be wanting to purchase some of their vans. So this is why I want you to make sure you keep this play on your radar, because I can still see some more moves to the upside. And I know what your next question is, so let's talk about that price action. So as far as for the price action is concerned, we need to see Mullen getting back to $3. This is a very key level. The moment it can get comfortable at $3, I can see more bulls wanting to come in and push this price up even further. Then the next level we look out for is at $3.60, because the moment we could break $3.60, this stock will make a move going to $4. We know there's a lot of interest on the retail side. We've noticed this in the order flow distribution. All of the buying that was happening when the stock had its massive dip from the report. So that's why adding this to your homework and as well as your due diligence can pay off well for you if you want to play off the momentum. Again, this is a speculative play. This company is not profitable as of yet. So that is one thing you want to be aware of, especially if you're looking at it as a long-term investment. And also, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it does continue to have short squeeze potential. And part of the reason being is if we take a look at the short borrow fee, it is well over 200%. So when you see that kind of number, any short that wants to get into this play, they're paying a hefty fee. And when it comes to investors or traders, remember, when we're playing the long side, we don't have to worry about paying borrow fees. So that's why all this play needs is a strong catalyst and more buying volume coming into the stock, especially if we see a lot more strength coming into the tech tech sector. We have CPI data that's going to be coming out as well. So the market will react to how these numbers look like. If it meets expectations or if it's below expectations, I want to see some strength in the markets. We know that it is forward looking. But if it ends up being above expectations, then of course there's a potential chance the market could pull back significantly. But what we want to really look out for is this going to be the peak in regards to inflation. We already know as far as for the Feds, they are being hawkish. We know Jerome Powell changed up his tune real quick, saying that, you know what, we're going to have to do some higher hikes, talking about 50 basis points. So that's why I'm saying, I don't want to tell you guys, you know what, this market's going to crash. We're going to be going into a recession. You hear that everywhere on YouTube. But I want you to be aware of is the trend, the momentum. That's how you trade when you're getting into these type of plays. You're not focusing on what the media is saying or what everyone else is saying. We play off of the charts and we use the right risk management to make sure we protect ourselves on the downside. This is very important, and having an exit strategy to making sure that you can lock in some profits. But as far as Mullen is concerned, I would continue to keep an eye on this play. And as far as for that gap being filled to the downside, I must say it is showing a lot of strength, and it doesn't look like that it wants to visit this area. But if it does, I will be looking to add to the position. That's just my personal opinion. I know many of you don't want to hear that because you just want to hear, you know what, this stock is going to the moon. But that's just how I feel about it. But if I see a trading opportunity, if there's a catalyst that comes through and the stock starts moving fast, you already know inside of the Discord, we're going to be all over this play. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how this stock performs for the coming week. We'll talk soon.